What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on SOFI stock.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And in today's video, first of all, I will show you where we are on a price chart and how we caught this movement to the downside, that from its swing high to swing low, during which this asset lost about 22.4% of its value. Harsh sell-off, I have to say. And then I will continue with the fundamental news. I will show you why, despite the good earnings results, this asset lost a substantial amount of its value. And at the end of this video, I will share my thoughts and my technical analysis. And I will show you what should we expect next. So let's start with the price chart. I made my previous video right here, right before this earnings report was published. And I've told you that most likely we should see the movement to the downside in order to unload the structure. Because in general, from the technical standpoint, when the asset shows the strong movement to the upside, on the anticipation of their earnings report, of their upcoming earnings report. And as you can see, when this report was published, despite of its quite good results and good anticipation, we have this massive sell-off. And usually it happens when the market tired of the earnings expectations and on the movement to the upside. And as you can see previously, if you take a look on the previous earnings reports, you can see that usually they beat their expectations, and definitely it is the 8th quarter when they beat their results, when they beat the expectations. And definitely this movement is quite technical, and I have to say that I didn't expect that it should be so massive, but I expected that it should go lower. And on my previous video, I literally told you not to enter any of your positions right here, because we have very high chances to see low price targets, and it is very difficult to find out where this asset might land. So let's continue with the fundamental news, and let me show you that the earnings report is quite positive, I have to say. On, for example, on Seeking Alpha, you can find these results. SOFI Technologies Q1 GAAP earnings per share of -5 cents beat by 3 cents. Revenue of $460 million, 43% increase year over year, beats by $23.22 million. The lending segment generated a revenue of $325 million, up 33% from last year. Financial services revenue more than tripled on a yearly basis to $81 million, while the technology division revenue grew 28% year over year to roughly $78 million. Adjusted EBITDA stood at $76 million at a 16% margin, exceeding the upper end of the fintech's most recent view of $40 million to $45 million and exceeding the previous record quarter. Net losses came in at $34 million, while net income margin was 54%. 433,000 new members were added in the quarter, which increased the total members to roughly 5.7 million. Origination grew 7% year over year to $3.6 billion. Deposits increased by $2.7 billion on a sequential basis to now exceed $10 billion. And in my opinion, this number is a very good indication that SOFI is a very strong company, and that it wasn't hit by the recent banking crisis, because it started at the very beginning of March, and definitely the deposit outflow for a lot of banks was the result of this crisis. But instead of this, SOFI increased their deposits by $2.7 billion, and that is why I think in the long-term perspective this asset is very strong. So let me show you why this asset fell down. We are in monthly full, and this article was published also just several hours ago. And here are several reasons why the movement from the fundamental standpoint was to the downside. So, for one, Galileo accounts declined for the first quarter ever. Management also didn't raise its guidance very much. Also, the company continued to build up its on-balance sheet loan balance, despite the fact that almost all of its loans are designated for sale. Management said the company did not do any whole loan sales in its personal lending portfolio, although SOFI did do a $440 million asset-backed securitization in the quarter. Investors may be worried about the company's ability to afford these loans in the future. So I have to say that these type of articles are pretty much irrelevant, because let me show you the price movement in details. For example, on 1 minute time frame, and as you can see, we have the earnings report that was disclosed on the pre-market hours, and right after the bell we have this harsh sell-off for about 17%. And definitely at this very point you don't know the potential impact on the price from the earnings report, because right here you can see positive numbers, very good projections, and so on and so forth. But this is how market reacts. And definitely all of these articles that describes how this asset was affected by the earnings report and why did it happen definitely is irrelevant in this very point, because all of these articles is a post-mortem articles, because they just show you the results of this movement, and they try to find necessary words in order to explain why it is happening. So let me show you that in the long-term perspective, Anthony Noto is very bullish on SOFI, and even during the latest March crisis on banking sector, he added to his own position, he added SOFI stocks to his own position. And that is why he believes in the long term in his company, and as you can see, these numbers prove his words. So, and let's continue with the technical analysis, but before we dive deep right here, please subscribe to my channel, hit notification bell and hit the like button. This helps me a lot. So guys, let's switch to hourly time frame and take a look on this latest movement in details. As you can see, it has a very harsh structure, and one of the latest candles is a shooting star or an inverted hammer, and this candle shows the bearishness of this asset. And definitely it doesn't have enough volume, but this candle is very indicative. And I have to say that SOFI broke its swing low right here, and this means this harsh movement to the downside should have a trend continuation, and in my opinion we might see some kind of bounce to the upside, something like this. From this top we might have movement at this very shape, and we might land somewhere lower. I don't know right now where we might land, because I don't have the third crucial point, the third pivot point, in order to project some targets on the lower side. But let me show you that as long as this pivot holds, that was set on March 13th, and it was the price point of roughly $5.15, we have absolutely the same price target, because we completed all 5 waves from the very beginning of 2023 till beginning of February 2023. And if I pull the Fibonacci extension tool from its swing low to swing high and project it from this bottom, we can see that the average price target is still right here. It is 1.618 extension level at the price point of $11.64. And it is the medium to long term price target for at least a couple of months. And definitely this price target holds, this price target is on the table as long as this pivot holds. And this means if you want to enter your position as a long-term holder, definitely it is quite decent point where you can add it. But if you want to see more confirmation, and if you want to catch the level near the bottom, you have to wait for the more data from the price action, and then I will do an update in order to show you the potential outcome for this asset. But so far I have to say that this asset in the long-term perspective is still quite bullish. And if you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap, only God wants you.